I am not in favor of gay marriage. I'm in favor of civil unions.
I just believe in the unique status of marriage between man and woman.
And just in, as thousands of gay couples marry in California, a ballot initiative could amend the state's constitution, which would essentially outlaw the practice. Now, civil rights groups are suing in an attempt to block that ballot initiative. Just in to discuss, we're joined by Matt Staver, who is the founder and chairman of the Liberty Council, a group opposed to gay marriage. And here with me in the studio is gay activist Mike Rogers, the founder of Proud of Who We Are and the publisher of Blog Active, the website that exposes government officials who work against the interests of the gay and lesbian community. That's a mouthful, but it's great to have both of you here. Thanks for joining us. Matt, since your group is going after this court ruling clearly and this ballot initiative, tell us, how you go to the ballot initiative to amend the Constitution. I don't know if is that the way you do it in California?
That's the way you do it. In fact, Laura, about 8 years ago in 2000, the people passed by a margin of 61.4%, what's called Proposition 22. And in those 14 words, it says, only marriage between a man and a woman shall be valid and recognized in California. That was like a super statute. It was lower than the Constitution, but higher than the legislative statutes. It's that provision that the Supreme Court overturned. But it's those same 14 words now that are on the ballot. And instead of being a super statute, it'll be an amendment to the Constitution. And that amendment, when passed, I believe it will pass, and it only needs 50% to pass, will overrule this activist 4-3 decision by the California Supreme Court and restore marriage as the union of one man and one woman, as it has historically been in that state and around the country.
And Mike, let's go to you on this. I'm thinking, putting myself in your position and watching what's unfolding in California. And my question to you is, why not let the voters decide so you don't turn this into another Roe versus Wade where it's such a hot button issue and everybody's angry at everybody else, and it just creates this constant narrative of real, I think, tension between, gay and I guess people who disagree with this?
Sure. Well, I think that the primary reason we don't do it is because the tyranny of the majority is why we have a Constitution. And if we put everything to a majority vote in the Constitution, an awful lot of things wouldn't happen in the country. For example, misogyny laws. The United States Supreme Court in 1967 tossed those laws. We didn't go back and ask the states, should people be able to marry interracially? In fact, I would bet today, if you were able to go back to the states and vote on that, it might actually pass in some states to ban those marriages.
Right. I think, to play devil's advocate here, I think that if people would say, look, if we can't, as citizens of our state, vote on what the meaning of the word marriage is, then what can we vote on? What, climate change and all these other issues? Because they say, well, why should 4 justices on the California Supreme Court determine what this age-old institution means to us?
Well, this age-old institution has changed throughout history.
By whom, though? It's being changed by judicial fiat. That's what Matt would say.
Well, certainly. Well, but a lot of things are changed by judicial action. We have things, for example, again, the right to intermarry is changed by that. The right to marry between religions. There have been folks who have said that that shouldn't be legal. So going back in our history from a time when marriage meant that the man owned the woman and assumed all of her property, it's a changing institution.
And Matt, let's go back to you on this. I mean, you hear the argument. This is a civil rights issue, and the majority will just continue to run roughshod over the minority. And what's your answer?
This is not a civil rights issue. In fact, what we have is an oligarchy issue when 4 of 7 justices literally take the Constitution, which nowhere protects marriage between 2 people of the same sex, and interpret it based upon their own ideology. The 3 dissenters clearly said that was judicial activism, that this is a decision for the people through their representatives or now through this ability to amend their Constitution. It's ridiculous to say, as we approached the Declaration of Independence birthday, the birthday of this country, the basis of liberty, that indeed that 4 people can rewrite the institution of marriage, but millions of California voters have no say in that particular issue. That's why we're defending the citizens' right in California to go to the ballot in November and have their say. Let the people speak. I believe when the people speak, they'll speak as they've always done around the country, and they'll choose marriage as the union of one man and one woman because it's best for our foundation, it's best for our children, and it's part of the democratic process.
Your last word. Go ahead, Mike.
If Mr. Staver believes that he's telling the truth, why on June 17th did he lie to the American people and make up things about polygamy and people being able to get married in California when they have unions? Why did he make up stories in Florida on the No on 2 amendment and the whole marriage amendment there, where he's claiming that it won't affect unmarried, elderly, retired couples when it will?
Well, you can't accuse someone of lying and get the last word. So go ahead, Matt. You can answer.
I mean, that's just to say that marriage is the union of one man and one woman. When you say that that and support that. That's the message. Don't attack the messenger. The truth is that the people of California deserve the right to vote, and when they vote, they'll choose the union.
Should they be able to vote on misogyny laws?
Marriage.
Well, I mean,
this is
I would
not
say
about that issue. It's about marriage.
Should they be able to vote on misogyny laws, sir?
Well, I think
there's a constitutional amendment that gives
you see,
equal
this is what
protection with
happens,
regards to
gentlemen.
I'm just asking.
Gentlemen, yeah, I know. I wish we had a whole hour, but I appreciate both of you joining us, and I think this shows you that when the courts make decisions like this and these types of tough decisions,
we have courts.
But so I think this is why we have elections. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much for being here, Mike and Matt. And up next, airport screeners already make you take your coats off, your shoes off.